Hi, I'm Cassandra Bell, and this is Your Energy, Your Reality, the podcast. We're going to be talking everything energy, from channeling to chakras, from angels to star beings, from intuition to psychic phenomena, and everything in between. I will be answering your questions, sharing my knowledge, and supporting your spiritual experiences. So make sure you connect with us on the website at www.cassbell.com or connect with me in our Facebook community, My Community Bell. Let's begin. Hi, I'm Cassandra Bell, host of Your Energy, Your Reality, the podcast. This week has been massive. It has been huge. I have been unwell. I have been burning the candle at both ends, and I have been putting in a lot of work to get something that is very, very dear to my heart completed. And I get to share that with you tonight. Now, some of you would probably follow me on Facebook, so you would already know that today I released the paperback edition of my book, Practical Protection. Now, I'm feeling really tongue-tied tonight because I am so happy and I am so excited, but most of all, I'm really proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for really stepping up and doing it. So, one of the reasons is that 15 years ago, I owned my own business. And from that moment on, I loved my business. I loved what I did. I loved helping people, but I didn't really make a lot of money. I made enough money to limp on, and that was really about it. But it was my passion to help people. And it was my goal was to provide help to as many people as I could. And I wasn't going to allow the finances to stop me from doing that. So if people didn't have money, I would find other ways, or I would try to help them anyway, which is fantastic. It made me feel good. It made them feel good, but it didn't do anything for my hip pocket. It didn't pay my bills, and it didn't allow me to get out of my cycle of having to work for other people and push myself to my utmost limits, drowning myself in the everyday toil of doing something that I really don't like, that doesn't align with my own values. So I've been doing that for such a long time. Responsibility first. Now, I know many of you will understand this, that sometimes when we have kids and a mortgage and bills, we have to put those before our own passion in what we do as work. That's the reality of 90% of us. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs say you've just got to bite the bullet and you've got to do it. That's great. And maybe it is fear, maybe it is ego that holds me back. But that's my reality at this point in time, which is one of the reasons why I call my business Your Energy, Your Reality. It's why I call the podcast that, because it's my truth. It's my slogan. Your energy, your reality. My reality is this at this point in time, but I'm working on my energy to change that. Anyway, so I've been doing this for a very long time. I have experience up to the wazoo. But I don't have a lot to show for it other than my ability to share it with anyone and everyone who's willing to listen. And that's one of the reasons why I have this podcast. But I want to share something that's happened over the last 10 months. And it's almost to the day, God, it's 12 months. It's almost to the day 12 months ago. So I'm just going to read this out for you so that you know what I've been going through. So 12 months ago, I had a very interesting experience at my day job. And it left me wanting to find another job because I honestly didn't think that I could stay. I'd had enough. Oh my God, I'd had enough. But one of the reasons why I haven't left my day job for the last 16 years is because I refuse to leave one job for another job when the reality is that I want my business. I want to employ myself. I want to employ other people. I want to do what I love. Why swap one job with another? It's not going to make me happy. So I might as well suck it up and keep on going. But what I did do is I started getting serious. Now, one of the things that I speak to my psych about is how anger actually pushes me to do things. So when I get that righteous anger, that white hot rah feeling, it makes me do the change. It makes me activate and to take action so that I can actually move myself. Because inherently, I like to just chill. It's not laziness, it's just an efficient use of energy, I tell people. But really, if you get too comfortable, why would you move? So you have to have that anger, you have to have that pain point to make you do something to action yourself. And that's what I had to do. So about 12 months, it was October last year, I had this, let's call it an amazing experience that started my journey of righteous anger. And I started putting plans into place in my brain. But the problem that I had was that I still saw myself as having to do my time in the industry before I could get anywhere. I felt like I had to take on clients one person at a time when it's not something I really wanted to do. I wanted to affect hundreds of people at once. Now, I don't mind doing a small group and then building up, but I've done the one-on-one. I don't need to do that anymore. So 12 months ago, I still had it in my brain that I had to do it step by step, earn my dues, and then make the break. Yeah, seriously, sometimes I still look at myself and go, really? This is what you're thinking? Anyway, obviously, I didn't get very far. But what I did get was that I started really thinking about what I was saying about myself, what I wanted for myself, what I wanted to give, how I wanted to serve. And I know that it's not in the same way that many practitioners in the industry do so. I'm different and I want to be different because I'm not looking at the people who can afford major financially priced programs and things like that. I'm looking at everyone who has been in my position before. And my position, as you all know, is not financially viable. But if we're going to make a difference in this world, we need to make a difference for everyone, not just some people. And most of us cannot understand how we can change our life so significantly in 12 months. I'm not saying that it can't happen because it does, 100% it does all the time. But when you're sitting on the bottom of the pile, you can't vision it, you can't imagine it, and you certainly can't believe it. Anyway, I'm back on my soapbox. What I was saying before, 12 months ago, I had my wake-up call of, oh my God, why am I still here? And then I started playing around with, what do people think of me? What do I think of myself? What do I want? 6 months ago, I started getting that universal push, that push that they do. Like you've got that constant chatter in the background telling you, no, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. But then when I was going, yes, I can be a leader in my industry, I can stand up, I can do this, I got waylaid with new opportunities and skills at my day job. And I went, wow, I'm an adult. And it was great. And I learned a lot more than I thought. What I really learned from it was that I could manage. I could step up. I could think like that. I could be strategy. I could think about people. I could think about the overall picture in business. and I found my confidence. 5 months ago, I started getting persistent voice pushing me towards a podcast, which is really interesting because I have never listened to a podcast up to that point. Never. Now, I want to say that in that time, I was also talking to some amazing women who were leaders in their field as well, like Lucy, my amazing hairdresser, who has not only brought herself back from starting from zero, but she has just done more than what she ever thought that she could in this such a small amount of time that I've known her. And she has been tapped on the shoulder to train people to do what she does because she's that good. Now, and I'm not talking about apprentices, which she does have, and Beck is amazing. I'm talking about she's teaching other hairdressers as well because she's that fantastic. I'm also talking to people like Melly from the Eastern States, who's all about courageous stories and how it impacts your life. I've been talking to these amazing women and so many more, but these amazing women who understand that they have to take control of their path of leadership in whatever industry that they are in. And so being able to talk to these amazing women one-on-one and being accepted for that same leadership quality that we all have, that was some serious support to be able to talk to peers who believe in you just like you believe in them. Anyway, I started getting the persistent voice pushing me towards podcasting, and I had no idea, so I resisted. I resisted for a good 6-8 weeks, maybe a bit more. But then 4 months ago, I put out a call for a VA. And just in case anyone's asking, like they usually do, that's a virtual assistant. Now, going back on my history over the last 15 years of big dreams, big ideas, lots of money, no return, I figured I was just going to waste my money on something that I could do myself yet again. But I really understood that I did not have the energy all the time to achieve what I personally wanted to achieve. I needed help, and so I asked for it, which, if anyone knows me, is a really big thing because I find asking for help seriously difficult. But I did. I asked for that help, and I started getting serious of what I really wanted to achieve in this life. I got rid of my own expectations of what I needed to do in this industry to earn my dues because I realized I've already earned them. I've got 15 years of earning my dues. And I started standing up into my leadership role without fear or ego. And then 3 months ago, which was only 4 weeks later, I met Lisa from Holistic VA Solutions. We had a coffee and a chat, and I really liked her because she was starting out. Just like me, a new adventure. We had the abilities, we had the smarts, we've done it all before, but we needed to do it for ourselves. And I really wanted someone who could grow with me, someone who I could talk to, someone who could be my friend, someone who could hold my hand, someone who could help me with all the logistics and seriously to keep this chaotic mind of mine in some sort of organization so that I could actually give her all my chaos. It would come back in this organized plan of attack, and then I could do what I was being told to do, basically. And it worked. It so worked. She understood where I was coming from. She understood what I wanted to achieve, and she was right there with me. But we did look at this whole plan of attack and went, wow, that's a lot to achieve. It was some seriously big ambitions with a very short period to do so. Now, that was back in July, mid-July when we first spoke. And then I went on holiday for 2 weeks. But we spoke about how I wanted to do a podcast, how I wanted to launch a book, or at least start writing a book in October. I wanted my first chapter completed by the end of October. I also wanted to start doing events and start and organize the program and have that ready to go by November. Oh wow, I think I've still got some time. And that, it was massive. This was a lot of work to be done before December. Holy crap, huge amount of work. But we put it together, we spoke about it, and we went, all we can do is try. Then 2 months ago, day job, still interesting. I saw my psych and he actually asked me, what is your exit strategy? And I looked at him and I said, lotto. And I laughed. And he laughed. And then he said, no, seriously, what is your exit strategy? And I looked at him and I thought, wow, I'm really being put on the spot. I have to say something. And it had been running around in my brain for weeks beforehand. I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to jinx it. I didn't want to fall flat on my face, all that sort of stuff. But I said to him, well, 18 months. I want to be out in 18 months or within 18 months. And I want to be doing what I love, getting paid for it, and earning more than what I earn now. And I know that I have to push hard, and I'm willing to do that to be able to get my passion, to live my dream. That was 2 months ago. 7 weeks ago, I started looking around for podcasting strategies. I spoke to an amazing lady by the name of Lyndall from Podcast VA. I highly suggest that you have a chat with her if you ever want to do a podcast. Because she is the most knowledgeable person I know when it comes to this sort of stuff. So definitely check her out. And then I thought, if I'm going to do this, I should really start listening to podcasts and get an idea of what I need to do, how I need to do it, and what the format is. So I started listening to podcasts, and there are so many different types, and it didn't help. It seriously didn't help. 6 weeks ago, I began working on the Sacred 8 program, and I realized that there was so much information that I wanted to put together, and that I could not just shove it together like I thought I could, but that I really wanted it to bridge the gap between mental health and energetic information. Energy it impacts mental health on so many levels. Now, I'm not talking about the physiological issues with mental health. I'm talking about emotional, and I'm talking about how putting things into place energetically will help our self-awareness, which then helps our mental health on a day-to-day basis. It's something that we need to start learning, that we need to look at our health on a holistic view: physical, mental, energetic, emotional. Anyway, I started understanding that this was going to be a lot bigger than what I thought. And I went, okay, I'm not going to make the November deadline. And about five weeks ago, because tonight's the 5th episode, I believe, I started my podcast. 4 weeks ago, I realized that there was no time to start my book that I really wanted to write, that would be a part of the podcast. It was going to be in like a symbiotic relationship with the podcast. And I really started doubting myself. I really started wondering, can I really do this? Who am I? Actually, the last 4 weeks, that's been running through my brain off and on. Who am I to do this? Who am I to stand in front of an audience and just tell them how I think it should be? Who am I? And then I realized I do it all the time. I might as well be an audience. So 3 weeks ago, as I was working on the Sacred 8 program, I realized that part of the information that I was working on, the protection part of it, was way too big to put in just a handout. Like a piece of paper was not going to cover it, not at all. And so I went, okay, we have to make this into a mini book. And then I realized, oh crap, there's going to be at least 8 mini books. What have I got myself into? This is going to take me so much longer than what I thought. Oh my God, this is going to impact my 18 months. But then I put my head down and I put my bum up and I started working. Now, the last 3 weeks have been pretty huge. I've been sick. I have not been well. I've had to take time off both here at home from doing anything as well as from my day job. I've had to sleep. Just, oh my God, so much sleeping. And then I've been doing a lot of writing and getting a lot of stuff down, making sure that it's correct. And then I uploaded the book earlier in the week thinking, yes. And then I went, oh, too expensive. If I went down that way, and I'm not going to name the company, if I went down that way, it was going to cost people like $20, $25 for the book and $15 or $17 for the ebook. And I'm like, no, that's not the idea of it. The idea of the mini books is to be able to provide people with information at a cost-effective price. I would rather 1,000 people have my books, have my information and my knowledge for $10 or $15 than have only 10 people or 20 people have them for $15 or $30. It's not in my bag. I want to make this available to everybody who wants it. So the first time didn't work well, and then I did some more research and I finally went, here we go. And so I've been able to upload my book, Practical Protection, and I've been able to organize a release date for my ebook of the same name, and I'm pretty damn proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. In 3 months, I have achieved this podcast launch. I have written a paper book back, albeit it's a mini book. However, it does not mean that there was no effort put in. There was a lot of effort put in. There is an ebook, and I have the beginnings of a self-awareness program that bridges the divide between mainstream mental health and energetic beliefs. You can bet that today I'm sitting here sharing this with you, and I am so damn proud of my achievements and myself. Your energy, your reality. Change your energy and you will change your reality. And that's what it's all about. That's me for tonight. I think I spoke a lot more than what I was expecting to. Because I did have an exercise for everyone to try. Oh, what the hell? I'm going to throw it in there. If you want to turn up your dial for your energy, if you're having like a really blue day or you're having a crap day or whatever, take a moment, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths in and out. Feel the center of your awareness in your heart or just even where you're breathing, and just imagine a dial. And it's on about 3, okay? And just push that dial up to 4. Knowing that as you push that dial up, you're pushing your energy vibration frequency up. You're just going to push it up a little bit. You don't have to push it up much, just a little bit. Just to get rid of some of those blahs that you're having and see how your day goes. I might even do a little bit more of that on my live in the community. Now, I have to share with you all of the marketing stuff that I have to do. So here we go. If you have questions or if you want to share your experience, head over to my website, www.casbell.com, and use the Contact Us tab to email me so that we can use it on one of our future episodes. Or you can head over to my Facebook group, My Community Bell. And just a reminder that Your Energy, Your Reality is a podcast where we share energetic experiences with the aim to celebrate and educate and to grow your connection with yourself and the world at large. You can listen to this podcast from my website, from Whooshka, and of course from Spotify. Have a fantastic night, everybody. Get over to my website address and make sure that you pre-order the ebook, or even do me a favor and order the paperback book, and I will talk to you again next week. Have a fantastic night, an amazing week, and I will see you again. Ciao.